What is up, guys? Oh, focus on my face, it's a little dark. I am all bundled up in the house and in my waders because I'm going fishing. And it's a really cold day. It's always been pretty cold here lately in Utah in the winter, which makes sense, but I figured, like, when I get out of the truck and get ready to go fishing, that is a really crucial time for not getting cold. And one way I can help solve that problem is to put my waders and boots on here and just drive straight up there and go fishing right out of my truck. Just have to put my rod together. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm all bundled up and goofy in my house. Let me show you what I'm bringing with me. Bringing my 6-weight rod and reel, a little net. I have a couple different fly boxes in there. And then in the top pocket, which I can open with one hand, I have a bunch of different things from Bug Club that I'm gonna be using today. I'm gonna be fishing this one particular deep hole where I'm gonna need these weights. And then I'm also going to be using these winter flies right here, which are mostly midge patterns and really good winter stuff. And then I'm also gonna be using their 5X they got me right here. Remember that Bug Club is a monthly subscription box where you can get it for $100 with my code Bridget, and as always the link is below. I highly recommend the Bug Club box because that right there is like 1/10 of what I've received in the Bug Club box, and that's about $30–40 worth of stuff right there in my hand. Even more than that, honestly. So you get so much bang for your buck, and I highly recommend it because fly fishing is expensive and they do the best they can to make it easy and affordable for everybody, as well as giving you tips and tricks, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys some of that today, and hopefully we can catch some fish. This is the neighbor's cat that I named Char. Bye, Char. Come here, baby. Let me, oh, zooming out. Come here, baby. Char's a good boy. Say hi, Char. Be good. Now don't get by me when I'm driving, okay? So I really wanted to bring Brookie, but I decided not to because... Char, get away 10 feet from the vehicle. I really want to, but I'm not bringing her because she tends to get really cold even in the summer as the sun's going down. So there's gonna be a lot of snow where I'm going. It's gonna be cold. I'm not gonna make her miserable. I'm gonna be cold as it is, and Brookie doesn't have this good technology quality gear like I do. Okay guys, so I made it to the hole that I planned to fish. It took me really long to get here. It was a lot of work because the river's really slippery and deep from all the water we've gotten, and snow's deep and the edges are very icy, so it's dangerous. I'm gonna set up, talk to you about what I'm doing, and then later I'm gonna talk about some winter fishing tips as far as safety goes, because I think it's important that they're addressed. Because the edges are so icy and it's so deep and dangerous and the water's so cold, I'm gonna play it safe and try my best to get as much video as I can, but I'm gonna keep my safety in mind first and the fish safety in mind first. Hopefully I can just catch a couple and then tell you guys everything that I did. Well, you guys, it's been tough. Luckily I'm staying mostly warm besides the fact that my feet are numb from being in the water this entire time. But I'm not gonna lie, it's been super tough. I think overall I just had one solid hit on a midge pattern from Bug Club, and I did miss the fish, and I was fishing with a couple different flies on there, and it wasn't the easiest situation, but bummer, the one chance that I had I missed, and sometimes that happens. Because of how frozen this river is and how dangerous it is, I'm really confined to only this one hole. It took me a long time to get here. I passed a lot of rough running water, deep holes, really icy patches, and it's just not worth my safety really getting after it and trying new holes. It was my goal to hit this one hole, but it's just such a tough winter with all the ice and everything. The fish are sitting under this ice and it's near impossible to get to them with the current going one way and the fish sitting one way, and then not being able to get your fly under the ice. It's been tough. But don't leave on me yet, you guys. I have a couple of really important things I want to talk to you about in the truck. So I'm gonna pack up, get my stuff out of here, make it safely to my truck, and then tell you some cool news. All right guys, back in the toasty truck. Gotta put this heat on high on my legs. Let's crank that up. Well, that's gonna be a little too loud for the video. Let's be honest, it's been a tough winter for fishing for me, and that gets me into what I want to talk about for winter fishing, and that's that winter fishing is all about conditions. Why has it been a tough winter for me fishing? Because out of the 5 years that I've lived in Utah, this is by far the snowiest, coldest winter we've ever had. So these past couple winters, I've been spoiled where certain lakes I like to fish have stayed open year round because they have good inlets or good warm springs, and I've been able to drive to all of my favorite creeks and rivers year round. This year, I can't get to any of my normal spots. This is like I've been fishing tons of last resort spots, and they haven't been producing well because even they're hard to fish, and they're last resort because they're not my favorite. You know, all my favorites I literally can't even get to. There's literally 60 inches of snow on the road, unmaintained dirt roads all winter, and it's crazy. But that leads me to another thing that I want to say is winter fishing is not always the best. It's so condition dependent, and like I said, I had to walk maybe a quarter mile in the river today, and it took me, no joke, 50 times longer than it would have normally taken me because everything was ice. Like, the entire river banks were closed with ice. I guess you could call this a creek. The entire creek banks were all iced up down to, like, in some spots, this much room of running water that I'd step in, because if I stepped on the ice would break, and the only way I could get in the creek was at a certain spot where the ice was really thick, because I couldn't walk to where I needed to go fish because there's 60 inches of snow. Like, literally, I'm trying to just bail out and walk out to my truck any way I can out of the river. So doing that, I had to go in the snow, and it was literally past my knee. And in one hole going, I had to walk like literally up to here in the cold water. Luckily, my waders do such a good job, but still sketchy, you know, like, and that's why I wanted to talk about safety a little bit. I wouldn't say don't fish in the winter because sometimes it sucks and it's cold and the conditions aren't always favorable. I would still say if you can enjoy it, find a way to get outside and enjoy fishing and work on techniques and just have fun in nature. And if you don't catch anything, it's not the end of the world. The biggest professional fly fishers in the universe get skunked sometimes. I get skunked sometimes. We all get skunked sometimes. I don't like getting skunked because I usually can figure it out and catch some fish, but sometimes in the winter, it's just out of your control. Like I said, I could fish one hole today. The fish were way under the ice, and that just is what it is. You know, I wasn't going to risk my life. There was no way I could have went past that hole because that hole was so deep, and there was no way I could cut around in the snow because the snow is so deep. So it's just one of those things. It is what it is. But I'll tell you what, when it starts warming up and the snow starts melting, I am so excited to catch some fish. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so excited just to fish some of my go-to spots and to just have some good days and to feel a good take. Oh my gosh, I miss that so much. I miss catching fish on the fly rod. I want to say another winter tip, small is key. So I kept telling you guys over and over again that I'm using midge patterns for my Bug Club fly box. You'll see that the winter box is full of size like 18 to 22 flies. So another winter fly fishing tip, I was just thinking of these when I was out there. Last week I went fly fishing with a Patagonia photographer. We do some shoots for Patagonia fly fishing from time to time. I get cool gear out of it. Pretty much all my warmest stuff is Patagonia, and my waders too, and that comes from doing cool photo shoots for them, which is cool because we usually get some awesome stuff. And this time we went to the Green River and we definitely got some awesome photos. I haven't been able to look through them all yet, but I'm really excited to see them. And when I was out there with the Patagonia photographer, he wanted me to get deeper in this one section, and I was like, I can't. It drops off like 20 feet. The Green River really drops off fast off the banks, which is why probably so many people float it. And I definitely want to float it next time. I was just waiting. But I I was like, yeah, I can't risk it. Look how deep it is. And he came down and he's like 6 feet and he was like, whoa. He was like, yeah, don't do that. I can't believe how much that drops off. And I was like, imagine falling in here. Like, we were like a mile and a half away from the truck. Imagine just a silly little mistake or wrong step or slip and falling in there, filling up your waders. It was 12 degrees and the water was probably, you know, just barely above freezing. And we were saying like the clock would start ticking as soon as that happened. Like, you would have such a short amount of time to survive because your body would be so crazy cold. And I think that's one of the hardest parts about winter fishing is the water. Sometimes when you're in the water, you can feel warmer than you are when you're not in the water on a really cold day. But the point is, if you get wet, if you get your hands wet, if you fall in, you really are in more danger than in the summer. And that's just why I want to kind of remind you guys to keep it safe out there. Don't ever do something sketchy or risky. If you do have to get yourself in a sketchy winter fishing situation, take it real easy, just like I did walking up that river. I took it so slow and easy. I'm not in a rush. I'm not out to impress anybody. I'm just taking it nice and slow, nice and easy. It's really windy today, and that did not help the staying warm conditions, but it was warmer than the last time I went out, which when I was in the Green River, it was so cold that it was just such a hassle keeping the guides, the eyelets not frozen. But I just want to say one more thing before I head out of here. And each time I use the Bug Club Fly box, the subscription box out in the field, I kind of want to tell you guys something, an interesting fact, or show you how to use something from the box. And today's no different. It's real easy because it's actually on my lanyard. You guys see me fish with my lanyard every single time that I ever fish. It's just my easy way to keep everything on me. Sometimes if I'm walking far on a river or a lake, I don't like carrying a lot of things because I'll ditch them and then leave them far behind and I'll need them. So a lanyard's a really good way to keep everything that you need on you. And that leads me to this, which I got in one of my Bug Club subscription boxes. I wanted to show you how to use it. So just this part here came in the subscription box. Now you can clip this on anything. It took me 2 seconds to clip it onto my lanyard, and then from there I clipped one of my old pair of nippers on it. But it has a clip here and a clip here, so you can clip it on whatever you want and then clip whatever tool you want on this section. And I want to point out that it's a nice like steel thing, rather than some of them that they make will be like nylon and they'll break really fast, or some of them will be like a cord that breaks really fast. And that's actually what this black one was on in the past. So that was one of the cool things I noticed right away, was that it is like a nice steel coated one, so it's not going to break as easy. And you can attach whatever you want on it. Nippers, you could attach your pliers on it, you could attach a fly box, you could attach things like this that holds your floatant devices, your floatant gels and stuff like that. You really could use it for anything, but I just wanted to point that out, that if you guys do get the box and for some reason don't know what this is, that's what it's for. It's for tools, and you can clip it on your vest, your chest pack, your wader bag, your waders itself, anything you want. And this goes back here so that I don't ever forget it. There it goes. And that leads me to, if any of you guys have gotten out there this winter and fly fished, have you guys had success? And I'm curious, like, wherever you are in this country, in the world, you know, I obviously expressed to you guys, I'm having a hard time because this is the craziest, most snowy, most cold winter that I've ever seen. So my hard time comes from places are hard to access. I can't go to a lot of my go-to spots, which leaves me going to new spots or maybe not so prime hot spots. And I've just been having a tough time, and it's cold, so you know, sometimes the fish are just dormant and don't want to eat. I haven't been coming at prime times because it's too dang cold for me to survive. This winter is a rough one. But yeah, if you guys have been having success, I really hope you have been. Definitely comment below and let me know what state you're in, if you've been having success, or if you've been having a slow winter too. Either way, it's okay. Regardless, I know the summer is going to be amazing, and I think you have to have some days getting skunked to appreciate the good days. So it's okay. I'm so grateful to be out here in nature, and I had a good time casting my fly rod. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.